Good morning, folks. It is about 5:18. I did set my alarm this morning to wake me up, but I've woken up before my alarm. How's that for efficiency? It was a real windy old night. It just carried on and on and on. It's not too bad this morning so far, but I just want to show you what is outside the tent because it's pretty nice. So I'm going to get some breakfast. But just check out, we've got the first bits of colour in the sky from the sunrise. It looks beautiful. I think what I might try and do is hop out of the sleeping bag, set the camera up somewhere on a time lapse, and then hop back in the sleeping bag. Have my coffee and my flapjack bar, my oat bar. Oh, I'm so tired. Once again last night I was taking some star photographs and then switching video over from one thing to another. Listen to some music. It was really, really nice actually. Really nice. But it did mean that I didn't go to sleep until about midnight. So I've literally only had about 5 hours sleep, which I guess isn't too bad. But I am very motivated by the thought of the possibility of town this evening. So if I can capture this sunrise, and then hopefully get my stuff packed up and get on the move early, I may just get there. Alright everybody, hope you enjoyed watching that sunrise. I hope it's come out alright. I literally just left the camera on a rock whilst I ate my breakfast and packed up camp. So I'm all done now and I'm all ready to go. It's a beautiful, beautiful view. I will show you it again in a second, just so you can see it in the proper light. So this has got to be pretty much the earliest I've walked on a morning, I think. It's actually really nice. Maybe I should do it more often. I think this is where I was supposed to, or where I was thinking about camping last night. Possibly this one or possibly the next one, but somebody said a note about a downed tree, and that was a windbreak, possibly that there. I am pretty certain that I did very well where I was then. In that case, that's always a bonus when you've not gone somewhere, you've chanced it, and you kind of hope that where you were was better than where you could have been, if you follow me. And in this instance, it looks like I was correct. Also, quite fitting that one of my last mornings in the desert, I get to watch a beautiful sunrise over a pretty amazing landscape as well. I do just wish that this ground would be easier to walk on, because it is just like really deep sand. You put your foot down and when you push off, your foot just kind of slips back. Oh. I did just check the app as well, just make sure my maths were correct. And for once they were. From where I was camped, it's 23.9 miles to Walker Pass. So by now, it's probably 23.7. Every little helps. Looks like there's a few spots you could have put a tent up here last night, but I mean the view would have been brilliant, but you would have needed... Oh, hello bunny rabbit. Look at that. Yeah, the view would have been beautiful, but man, I would not have enjoyed that wind up here last night. Even behind the Joshua tree stand where I was, it was still clattering into the tent pretty hard at midnight. But I was very grateful. Very grateful for that natural windbreak. Thank you, Joshua. Right folks, it's mile 632.1 and this is a water cache that is maintained by, I'm not sure if this is, well, it's the same people that maintain the previous one that I hit yesterday at Kelso Road, and you can just see how much water is lined up here. It's insane. And if these things weren't here, we were just saying, you know, you would be carrying 8 litres of water with you, if not more. That is the sign that I mentioned about yesterday. I've got my photograph next to it. It's in a little worse condition than I remember. We've got Spy sat up here having a break, and then there's the filling station and the empties cage as well. So very grateful for all the people that maintain this. Otherwise, we'd all be extremely thirsty. But now it is time to climb. Well, I'm breathing pretty heavily. I've just rocketed, well, I thought it was rocketing anyway, up the first part of this climb. Oh man, some of it's been in the shade, which is really nice. And it's still not like scorching hot, but you can see how far I've climbed already. So I camped last night somewhere on the other side of those hills, and then that dirt road in the bottom there, you can see snaking. That's the one where I started my climb this morning of this. Very different weather to the last time I came up here. There was this, I remember it vividly, great big storm moving down the valley towards us. It looked like the end of the world. Black as night. You could see it coming down there. I was like, oh, I don't like the look of this. So we absolutely powered up this section. In fact, I remember I put some headphones in, which I don't normally do, and I put some Chemical Brothers on, which I think it was galvanised, if I remember rightly, and that got me pretty pumped to get up here. So the Dutch couple we've been crisscrossing, 2 trail tales. They are just ahead of me somewhere. Met them this morning down at the water cache, and Oh, sorry. They were good enough to take a photograph of me next to the sign. I know it's only a little thing, but I'm really pleased I've got one. This is one of those climbs that there's a lot more to than you realised. I've just stopped short of this little bit here because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a real nice view. I thought you might like to see it at the same time as I do. I don't even know what to say. That's absolutely beautiful. I keep wanting to swear, but I'm trying to make my videos swear-free. There is a spot just down there on the edge where you would fit a cowboy camp, maybe a tiny tent, and you would be treated to something pretty special if you spent the night there. Wow. A little bit more climbing to do yet though. Just a little bit more, I think. Well, it's about 8:45. I've got 17.6 miles left to get to Walker Pass. I've done that climb in just a little over an hour, which I'm really pretty pleased with. And I've just been treated to my first glimpse of the Sierra Nevada. I've zoomed right in on the camera, so I'm hoping that you can make out the snow-capped peaks in the distance. But it's getting realistically close, is the phrase I'll use. So if you'll, well, you won't remember because I didn't tell you. But when I set off from camp this morning, I looked at the distance I had to do and the elevation and whatnot, and I was a little concerned about the ups and downs today. There was almost 3,500 feet of ascent and the same in descent as well. I've just looked again after coming up that climb, and after doing that climb there is now only about 1,400 feet of ascent. So I've just knocked off a huge chunk of the day's climbing in one fell swoop in just over an hour. So that's how quickly things can change when you're hiking on this trail. One big climb and you can really make a big difference to the totals that your day has. I'll stop here and show you this. I'm showing you the same view over and over again, and I'm really sorry, but it's just awe-inspiring. And I'm glad I'm capturing it in glorious 4K as well, because then I can watch it at home on my 4K TV, which I've just remembered that I bought a few months back. Oh, what an idiot. I guess 8K is the thing nowadays. I guess I'm behind the times with 4K, but doing something like this with the vlogs, if people aren't aware, when you're filming in 4K, one, it eats through your battery on your device a lot quicker. Two, it takes up a lot more storage space on whatever you're storing your files on. And three, it takes longer to work with, especially when you're doing it mobile. If you've got a big kind of specialised rig at home that's set up for video editing, or in the studio or whatever, then it's not so much of an issue working with it like that. But when you're working with it on a mobile phone, it can take quite a bit of time. And then also, as I've explained before and as I've complained about before, the upload times to YouTube are pretty dire at the moment as well. But I think it's worth it because I've seen some of the pictures in 4K, some of the footage, and it does look spectacular. So I'm happy to kind of pay that price to get that end result. But this walking today so far has been what I would term extremely rewarding. I have no qualms at all about putting a ton of effort in if you get some rewards. I was thinking about this last night when I got to the tent and started putting the tent up. It was starting to come in dark. And I'm thinking I've done almost 25 miles today, and a lot of those, the bulk of those, were kind of after 1 p.m. I really went for it in the afternoon and the evening. And it's that feeling you get when you finally get laid in your tent, or you get your tent up and you're sorting your camp spot out. And you lay down or sit down and your legs are really aching, your feet are pulsing, and you think like, yep, it's been a good day today. And you go to bed aching, your body aches, you know that you've challenged yourself and you've pushed yourself. It's such a good feeling. I love that feeling. It's almost addictive. I think that's why I enjoy these little challenges so much, that I set myself. One, to see if you can do it, to see if you've got it in you, and two, for the feeling of knowing you've done it, knowing you've achieved it when you've got to the end point. Anyway, that's enough nonsense for now. I'll save some battery because I'm eating through it like mad this morning. So another little challenge I've just set myself, and I've only realised the possibility of it in the last sort of 15 minutes. But something with through hikers that's quite common is 10 before 10 is the saying. It's basically get 10 miles done before 10 a.m. and you get a really, really good jump on the day. Just checked, and it's a little after 9:30 at the moment. And if I want to hit that mark, I've got about another mile to do, maybe a little over. So I've just sped my pace up a little bit to try and get there, and I shall keep you updated. I've got a timer set on the phone. I'll keep you updated, see if I make it or not. Got 19 minutes to do half a mile. I think I'm going to be safe, but it's just the way that this trail works. All this time I've been hiking, I've met quite a few English people, but they've all been southerners. No disrespect to southerners. They've all been from down south. A couple from the Midlands, nobody from my neck of the woods up north. I come round the corner, just back there's a couple just doing the bags up, and they're like, "Oh, do I hear an English accent?" And the guy's from Hull, which if you don't know your geography, you probably won't. Hull is like, what, less than an hour's drive from where I live. It's very northern. So I wanted to stop and talk to him, but at the same time I'm like, I want to do the 10 before 10. So, it was just funny. I kind of had a very quick chat with him, a couple of fist bumps, and then ran off. They're also aiming for Ridgecrest tonight, so maybe I'll see him at the hitching point. But yeah, very nice to hear a northern accent. You guys are probably sick of the northern accent by now, but that was the first kind of reminder of home I've had for over 600 miles, so it was nice. I didn't get the names because I was in that much of a rush. If I see him again, I'll get the names. Victory! Victory is mine. Sorry, Family Guy. Done it. It's 5 to 10 and I've just passed mile 639.4. I was camped at 629.3 last night, so I have just scraped it by a few minutes. I know I did 10 miles before 10 a.m. on the aqueduct, but I wasn't paying a great deal of attention. So this is my kind of first 100% confirmed, know that I've done it, very satisfied. Plus, the aqueduct was just flat. Today, that 10 before 10 has included a couple of chats with people, a bathroom break, countless filming and photograph stops, stop at the water cache to fill up, and about an 1800 or 1900 foot climb. So I think I've done pretty well. And I set off from camp at 6:30 a.m. So that's all happened in the space of 3.5 hours. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet by any means. I'm just trying to get the point across that I really, really want to get to town tonight. Wow, when you come out of the tree cover and the sun hits you, it is really hot. I'm glad, very, very glad I've got that climb out of the way this morning. That's things like that don't usually happen to me. I usually do things the wrong way around, so I've got it right for a change. So I've been in and out of signal for the last couple of days. Been trying to conserve battery as well as best I can. Just want to give a big thank you to Barry for your support. Barry, I know you said on your message that I was your dad's postie. I don't know if I've met you before or not. No doubt I have met your dad. If I've delivered his mail and his parcels. But thank you very much for your support, really kind of you. Greatly appreciated. And I keep forgetting, but hello to my parents and my brother. I know that you're slowly trying to get through all the videos. No doubt with the volume turned right up. But I'm still alive, don't worry. At this moment in time, I am very much enjoying things. Good afternoon, folks. Excuse me. It's 12 noon, spot on. And I'm at mile 645. Spot on. We've just had a 2-mile dirt road walk that we weren't prepared for. Wasn't too bad, to be honest, just exposed. and just stopped and had some lunch here. For the last maybe hour or so, I've been hiking with a young American guy called Bilbo. He's a carpenter, and it's actually really made the time fly. He's just gone down the road there. There's a water source down there and like a little bit of a cabin with a toilet. So he's gone down to use the facilities. Met a couple of his friends he's been hiking with, a Finnish guy called Spike, and I think he was an American guy called Altitude. They're all basically going to Ridgecrest this evening. Bilbo wasn't going to go to Ridgecrest, he was going to go to Inniakern, and I have persuaded him otherwise. Or I've warned him otherwise, should I say. So yeah, I was sat eating lunch and Spike, the Finnish guy, came up and said he wanted some proper food. I had one avocado left, spare, so I gave him my avocado, which he seemed extremely pleased with. I think I probably would be as well if someone gave me an avocado in the middle of the desert. I'd be quite chuffed as well. So a little bit less weight for me to carry and a little bit of food for him. It's a win-win situation. Just switched some water over. I've got 8.3 miles to go to Walker Pass, and I don't want to jinx things, but I think it's pretty much all downhill. I would set off, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to wait for Bilbo or not. I don't just want to like run off and leave him. So I'll just hang around for a little bit. I've got plenty of time at the moment. I can't believe how quickly the day's gone. It's saying that it's only 12 noon, you know, but I've got nearly, 2/3 of my miles in for the day. So yeah, very pleased. Ouch. So last year, sometime in the summer, I did the tour of the Lake District back in the UK, which is a circular hike. I can't remember how long, maybe about 110 miles, something like that. And before I did that, I did part of the Dales Highway. Now, I took a wrong turn on the Dales Highway, and instead of tracing my steps back, because it was wet and rainy and I was annoyed with myself, I decided to basically climb up onto a dry stone wall. The dry stone wall had a barbed wire fence on top of it, so I then had to kind of like jump, move my feet out of the way of barbed wire fence and jump over and off the wall. And when I landed, I was carrying my pack. The full weight of my pack obviously went through my body, and everything went through my left foot. And there was a very loud swear word said at the time. Ever since then, I've had a very problematic big toenail on my left foot. I've not seen anyone about it. I just kind of hoped it would sort itself out, which it has been doing, I think. Basically, half of it came off. Sorry for the gory details, by the way. Half of it came off, half of it was still there. A new one started growing, and as the new one grew, it was pushing what remained of the old one off. However, there's been a little bit of it hanging around that won't move, and this morning I have, for some reason, managed to stub my big toe on my left foot, so the problem toe, I've managed to stub it really, really hard. Not once, not twice, but now 3 times on rocks that are sticking out of the trail. And I'll tell you, it's quite painful and annoying. I'm going to have a look at it when I get to town. I've got a feeling that something might not be quite right, but I don't usually get problems like that. I know a lot of hikers, you know, they'll start losing toenails, all sorts of things like that. That doesn't happen to me, apart from this time, obviously. But yeah, the message there is don't jump off walls with wearing a really heavy backpack, because it doesn't end well. Right, I'm going to show you this view twice. Show you it on normal zoom at the moment, and then I'll zoom you in so you can get a little better look. But I've just come around the corner and it literally just slaps you in the face. I mean, it's breathtaking. Absolutely. There you go, that's zoomed in, so you might be able to make out a few more of the peaks. Well, this big lump of rock in front of me is quite impressive as well. (2:15 p.m, mile 652. And I am a lot closer to the road than I was last time I spoke to you. Got about 1.3 miles left until I can stand at the side of the road with my thumb out. Yeah, some nice scenery. I've got to admit, 24 miles, or just under 24 miles, it's a decent lick today, I would call it. Definitely taken its toll on my legs. They're aching, and that left big toe is just worrying me a little bit. I would definitely like to have a look at that when I get to the hotel and after I've eaten some ice cream. First aid will have to wait until after ice cream, I'm sorry. I know what my priorities are. I just had a message from Centipede. She is enjoying the town life. She's finally gotten to go swimming after about 5 failed attempts. She's finally been in the pool. And if it's as hot there as it is here, I'm sure it was extremely enjoyable. But for me, it is almost challenge well and truly smashed. I said to Bilbo when we were sat having a drink and a little bit to eat at lunchtime, I said, you know, it's the first day I've kind of started early that I can think of. There might have been a couple of others. But I said, if you start hiking at 6:30, and if I can do 24 miles by like 2:30 p.m. or 3 p.m. even, I mean, if my body would allow it, which I don't think it would, but if it would, I could probably do like a 35-mile day, which at the moment seems pretty insane. Now, I have done it in the past. I hiked the Cleveland Way back home several times, but one time I did it, it's 110 miles, and I did the entire thing in 3 days. And even I was impressed with that. And I know for a fact I'll never get near that pace again. But, and there was a big but, I couldn't bend my left leg at the knee for 2 weeks afterwards. So yes, a slight overuse injury there. That is why, if I've mentioned it on a video or two, my left knee is my weak point. That's the cause of it. It was always all right until that trip and that happened. And then things started to go a little bit downhill. So I've just looked over to the campground, Walker Pass campground, and I've seen a van parked up in the corner. And I'm 99% certain it's Sprinter, the guy who gave me the ride into Hatchapee. I had heard that he was basically just going around like picking people up and dropping people off. Someone else said that he'd hiked 4 miles last night with a cooler of beer to give people some ice cold beers. What a geezer. Well, it's 2:33 p.m. I've just met 3 new hikers. Lindsay, Queen and Boomerang. I think I saw Saskatchewan next to the name in the trail register. But they are just behind me, and like most of the people here, they're planning on going into Ridgecrest. I'm not sure if that was Sprinter's van back there. It looked like it. It was the same colour and it was the same model and everything. But I guess there's probably a lot of them around. It's not forced to be him. Anyway, I'm just approaching the road now. It's literally just like, just there. I'm just approaching that and I shall be sticking the thumb out and seeing what happens. It looks like it's quite a decent way to Ridgecrest as well. So it might not be the easiest hitch in history. We shall have to see. I hope it doesn't take too long though, because I've only got about half a litre of water left. So I would hate to die of thirst at the side of the road. Not quite sure where you're supposed to hitch from. It's like there's some hikers over the road setting out on the next section. Good luck to them. Oh, nearly fallen over. A little water cache on the floor. Oh. And looks like there's a bit of a shoulder here, so I think this will be me. I guess that's who the pass is named after. Joseph Rutherford Walker, who discovered this pass over the Sierra Nevada mountains between the Great Basin and the interior of California in 1834. Well done, Joseph. And now I just have to stand here and hopefully somebody will pick me up. Alright folks, just a quick sum up. I am in Ridgecrest at the moment at the Clarion Inn with Centipede, and it is absolutely scorching. I've just put my bare feet on the pavement on the deck in front of me, and I've had to move it off straight away. It's boiling. It is a nice little hotel. There's a lot of hikers here. There's a pool out here, as you can see, with some palm trees. We're in the Mojave Desert, so basically it's very flat out here and it's extremely hot. There's a heat wave approaching at the end of the week, which is predicted to be up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 43 degrees Celsius. So yeah, pretty crazy. But at the moment we are planning on heading out on Friday, back to the trail. Take 3 or 4 days to get to Kennedy Meadows, and then pick a couple of packages up there. Centipede needs to get a bear can, and then move on into the Sierras. We're here for another couple of days. Basically, we are probably going to rent a car, seeing as though it's dirt cheap, and use that to get all our jobs done. I'm not even joking when it's almost too hot to walk around. Especially like carting resupply boxes and things like that around. So that means we can go and get some laundry done, we can go to Walmart, and then we can get to the post office easily as well. So yeah, that's the plan. I got in yesterday afternoon and just basically had a very long shower, had some food. There's a Stater Brothers market pretty much over the road from us, so it was handy to get some food quickly. And then just messed about on the phone, catching up on stuff, which I've still got a lot of to do as well. So hopefully there's going to be a few more videos up soon. I will say at the moment there's probably going to be some large periods coming up where there's going to be no videos uploaded, because I'll be in the Sierras with spotty Wi-Fi. So please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified when a new video comes up. Again, apologies if there isn't one for a few days at a time, but they are coming. Just it might be a little while until I get to somewhere like Bishop or somewhere like that with some decent Wi-Fi where I can upload videos. So yeah, please bear with. In the meantime, there will be a few videos going up in the next few days for you to watch this last little section. But take care of yourselves, and I shall see you on a future episode.